The Woman in the Window. This is a Netflix film starring Amy Adams. This film, I believe, was meant to be released in October 2019. It was delayed, and then it was delayed again because of the pandemic, and instead of realizing that they should have just thrown it in a trash can, it ended up getting a release on Netflix. I am not going to beat around the bush here. This is a movie that is just terrible. And if not for music, now music was the worst movie I've maybe ever seen, like the most offensive film to me that I have ever seen. Unless Hollywood releases a 2.5-hour snuff film, that will be my worst movie of the year and probably of the decade. With that said, 9 years out of 10, this would be a lock to be the worst movie of the year. This is one of the worst films I've ever seen. I do not know how this film got made. This film has talented people in it. Amy Adams, Anthony Mackie, Brian Tyree Henry, Gary Oldman, Jennifer Jason Leigh, Julianne Moore. That's 6 people where if I see them in a movie, I say, man, this movie might be pretty good. That's not the case here. I have tried to think of something good about this movie, and there's talented people in it. It's directed by Joe Wright. Joe Wright has made good films. Joe Wright's made critically acclaimed films. I don't know what happened here. Amy Adams is really trying. She's not given good material, but I believe Amy Adams is one of the best actresses alive or dead. I think she's incredible. She's one of those actresses that probably should have won an Oscar by now, but hasn't. And in this, she's really going for it. Now, she is given a script that is awful. She's extremely talented, and I wish she was in a better movie because, yeah, I mean, she does give a good performance. She's the one thing about this that is, like, relatively passable. As for the bad, oh my God, this movie is so boring. It's so boring. It's an hour and 40 minutes and it feels like it's about 7 hours. I just put my mic down. The audio might sound a little bit different, but I want to explain to you using this whiteboard how the basic structure of a film, how films get made. Okay, here's a question that every filmmaker should ask from now until the end of time. Does anything happen in your movie? Now, the answer should always be yes. For some reason, too many movies think that the answer should be no. That it is a better idea to have a movie where nothing happens than to make one that has action, character development, good acting, good directing, etc. I don't know why that is. This is a very troubling trend in movies nowadays. Now, if the answer to your question is yes, all right, you know what? You might have a movie. But here's the follow-up to that. Is it stupid? Is it some stupid shit? And this film is 80% no, 80% nothing. The other 20% has a single-digit IQ. And for that reason, this is one of the worst movies of the last few years. Joe Wright was clearly trying to rip off Hitchcock, like ripping him off wholesale completely in this, trying to emulate that style. This is a murder mystery. Here's a big issue with that, though, is Alfred Hitchcock made good movies. This is the opposite. This film also has, and I mentioned that there is a talented cast here, but there's some very bad performances. Gary Oldman is hamming it up. And look, Gary Oldman is an amazing actor, right? And he's given some amazing performances. But he also, like, has given his fair share of really over-the-top campy. Now, Gary Oldman's a legend, right? But in this, he's not very good. No one else is really good. The premise is complete nonsense. I mean, even at the end, when they do the big reveal, it doesn't make any sense. Like, there's some, issues logically that do not add up at all. Everything else in it is awful. Guys, it's so silly. The last third of this movie is one of the silliest things. I was texting with a buddy who said he was laughing out loud. I don't know how you can't. This is a murder mystery with zero tension, zero suspense. There's one mildly interesting thing on a laptop screen that kind of gave me the heebie-jeebies for like half a second. Other than that, there's nothing in it that's good. It's tonally a complete mess. There's moments where it's trying to be a slasher horror film. There's moments where it's trying to be, a slow burn murder mystery. There's moments when it's trying to be a deep character study. None of it meshes. None of it blends. None of it works. It is clear that there was effort here. Like, it's not like music where Sia just didn't care how autistic people were portrayed or represented and she just made an abhorrent pile of garbage. People tried. It's just none of it worked. And I don't want to rip people too much because making a movie is hard enough. Making a good movie is even more difficult. But with that said, because of how bored I was in this movie, this is a 1 out of 10. I can't give it anything else. And watching this film, this is why movie theaters are dying. If I saw this film in a theater, I'd have walked out 20 minutes in. It would be an absolute waste of however much they were asking for. My $7.50. It's been so long since I've been to the movies, I forgot how much they cost. Yes, I'm happy watching Avengers and Star Wars and the Batman on a movie theater screen, but this film should never be seen in theaters. It should never be put in theaters. This thing shouldn't even be put on VHS tape. That's how bad this is. And I know there's talented people in it, and I know people worked hard, but it's so bad. It's so boring. All right. That'll do it for this review. You can follow me on Twitter at Castellani2014. Link is in the description down below. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. Subscribe to this channel. Let's get those watch hours up. I will be talking to you real soon. Peace and happiness.